Hi, my name is Padraig Lenihan. I work here in the National University of Ireland in Galway. I've been associated with the Benburb 1646 project, and I'm proud to be associated with it. There's so much to capture the imagination in this film. There's the actors, the equipment, the gear, costumes, the visuals, the script, if I do say so myself, the authenticity and the power of the project. Bala ye an saoire seo. Awkward question. Why should we bother? Why do we need to know about the past? Why is Ben Burb important? Well, at a very basic level, 3,000 people were killed in one horrible moment in time, one evening in June 1646. But it's more than that. It's part of an existential struggle, if you will, between native and newcomer, between planter and Gael, between settler and native, call it what you will. The outcome of this war of the mid 17th century and the later one, 40 years later, at the end of the 17th century, there's a clear win lose outcome. Newcomers win, natives lose. That said, the outcome wasn't obvious at that time, and there are many incidences within those conflicts that point in another way. So Benburb, as it were, is a win for the native side. Now, how do you deal with the legacy of that in a divided society? The United Irishmen, and I wish I was looking for the exact quote, but it goes something like this. They talk about, I think there's Wolfe Tone, bemoans the idea of forever stalking these fields of blood. Moving on, forget the past. I don't think you can do that. I think you have to deal with it. You have to, not even confront is the wrong word, engage honestly and respectfully with the past. How do you do that? Some episodes in our history of expropriation, massacre, persecution, and so on. Some of these are more difficult to deal with than others. An event like Ben Burb can be seen as it's an event that's important in, if you like, the Irish or nationalist or Catholic tradition. Why? Because it's got a real importance. It's got a real importance in that I would argue it ensures the survival of the Catholic Confederates nationwide. It prevents, there's a moment when the Scots are prepared, the Scots Army of East Ulster is prepared to intervene south of Ulster. They're no longer distracted by events and by an Irish invasion of Scotland, which had been going on in 1644 and 45. So it's important in the medium context. It's important in this longer term legacy in that Onro O'Neill, the winner at Bunburb, he's up there with Sarsfield, he's up there with um, all the greats of the Irish nationalist pantheon. And that's important too, how things are remembered and represented. So it's an important story in that tradition. And you can present the story in all its importance in that tradition while paying due respect to the other tradition. Munro lost. Munro's Covenanters and British of East Ulster and Scots soldiers, they lost that day. They didn't lose other days. It doesn't mean that they're cowardly, that their cause was wrong. They lost because Munro made mistakes. O'Neill had been beaten before. He'd made mistakes. They both had the Munro's mistake tended to be overconfidence. O'Neill's mistake tended to be careless reconnaissance, but he learned from his mistakes, as people do. So, what am I saying here? I'm saying don't be afraid of the past. Confront it. Enjoy it honestly and respectfully. And this video, this film, is something, as I said already, with which I'm proud to be associated. So I'd ask you, in the first place, enjoy.